Anyway, it's great to hear from you. By the way, a lot of stuff going on in Washington. I know since you got there, and I'll let you start off with the tax cuts. I saw where Walmart now is going to raise their, I guess, minimum pay to $11, and they're saying it's because of the Trump tax cuts. Talk a little bit about that and what we can expect from that.
Well, the tax reform that we battled over and debated over and had hundreds of meetings considering it exactly, what it would take for us to get to a yes as a conference, because we had zero assistance from the obstructionist left. It's a win for all of America, man. And we knew that as soon as the tax reform was passed, industry would begin responding. It's just good business for all American endeavors regarding economic growth of your own individual business, whether it's large or small. It's smart to invest in your own business, and that means investing in your own people. A happy employee is a productive employee, and we knew that this would start happening as soon as we got the job done, and indeed it has. So you have companies across America are giving raises and bonuses. Electric companies, or Baltimore Electric Company took $82 million of projected tax savings, and they're giving it straight back to their utility customers in the form of rate reductions. And so that's the kind of thing. It's hard to even connect those dots when you're envisioning the economic growth that major tax reform and tax rate reductions will have on the American economy. I mean, no one thought that passing tax reform would equate to a lower electric bill, but that's happening. So I was a very vocal participant in the debates. I was happy with the final package. President Trump was happy with the final package, and I'm just glad that we got the job done, and we got it done without any Democrat assistance, that was disappointing to me, Moon. I have friends across the aisle. They're patriots. They love their country, but they're forced into lockstep by their leadership, and this is why you didn't have any Democrat participation in a tax reform bill that was obviously going to be good for America. I was disappointed that it wasn't bipartisan, I must tell you.
Congressman Clay Higgins, we're visiting with Congressman Clay Higgins. Congressman Higgins, why do you think the Democrats hate for government to say we're going to take less out of your paychecks? Y'all not giving us any money back. Basically what you're saying is y'all can keep more of what you earn. Why do the Democrats seem so sorry against people having their own money, people being able to do for themselves?
Well, isn't that the question of the ages?
Yep.
Unfortunately, there's an entire culture in America that believes there's such a thing as government money. There's no such thing as government money. It's the people's treasure. And many of my colleagues on the left don't quite get that. They believe that bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. can better manage a family's hard earnings than that family, and I believe opposite. Luckily, I have enough colleagues on our side of the aisle that we were able to get this thing done, and it's just a win, man. Listen, we're about to experience for the first time in over a decade, quarter after quarter of significant GDP growth. I believe we're going to bust 4% GDP growth for the year of 2018, and everyone is going to win from this thing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think we see it. We see more and more companies, excuse me, moving along and passing breaks and pay raises and bonuses and things of that nature. I just don't see why the left thinks that keeping more people's money is going to make them prosper. It normally doesn't work that way. All right.
Well, it's because they're so, it's really ugly up here, Moon, and you see it across the country. This entire "not my president," resist obstructionist thing from the left is just this vitriolic hatred for President Trump, who's a man that, Moon, I've had, maybe 15 or 20 meetings with him over the course of the last year, and not necessarily one-on-one, but in the same room with him, with conversations in conference. And this is a man that truly loves his country and is growing within his job. He's a better president every day. He's aggressively pursuing the challenges that face our country, and I'm honored to be on a team that's willing to fight with them rather than against them. But the left, they'll do anything to be able to say that President Trump is not winning, and that's why they're so vitriolic in their hatred of the man, and it's a damn shame because it hurts America. Yesterday, I don't know if you caught my little video, bothered the hell out of me. They called for adjournment twice in an hour in the middle of the day on the House floor. And that means that according to the House rules, you have to go down and vote. So I had it twice within an hour. I had to leave a meeting with constituents that have concerns and have the right to meet with their congressman, and they flew 1,000 miles to meet with me, and something that's been on the schedule for weeks. And I had to leave those meetings in order to go down and vote against adjournment on the House because the Democrats are playing games and obstructionists just, very bothersome mechanisms that they use to anything they can do to stop us from moving forward. And it injures America because I had to leave meetings with the people that I've sworn to serve in order to go deal with their childishness.
I've been watching this for a long time, Congressman Higgins. I'm sure you have too. But you're right in the middle of it now. You're seeing things that most of us will never see. All right. What about, illegal immigration is a problem here. The Obama administration just about run this country with what they did. So what's going to happen? There's a lot of people a little nervous about what the president wants to build a wall. He wants to change things, but there's some people nervous about maybe what's going on. What do you think will happen with illegal immigration, the wall, DACA, and those things like that? You have any idea where this thing is going?
Yes, sir. We're going to harden the southern border whether anybody likes it or not. And we have to control our border. You have to stop the bleeding, man. And keep in mind that in an appropriations bill that we passed last year included $1.9 billion for increased spending for the Department of Homeland Security, which included authorization for physical structures. That means fencing, primary fencing improvements, secondary fencing installation, all-weather road installation, the purchase of vehicles, the hiring of additional Border Patrol agents, and so that was, a large step towards hardening our border. I don't know if you recall, but I scouted the entire border last year, all 1,954 miles, by airplane, by boat, by helicopter, by four-wheel drive SUV, on horseback and on foot, from the entire border, all four sectors of command and control. And I listened very carefully to the boots on the ground of what they needed. I was part of a task force last year. We have completed our study regarding denying entry of terrorists into our country and determining how they're getting in. We submitted our report in December, and my scouting of the border last year was a part of that. I'm a boots on the ground guy. I need to hear it from the actual cops whose job it is every day to stop that threat crossing. There's two kinds of trafficking: human trafficking and drug trafficking coming across our southern border. So in one of the appropriations bills we passed last year, that included $1.9 billion of additional funding for Department of Homeland Security to begin doing the things that the boots on the ground said they needed. So we've already made a large step towards hardening our border. Attempted crossings, trafficking of drugs or humans is down by 60% just since Trump is in office. And that's a result of the work we've already done. As we move forward, there's additional physical structures that are needed.
Hey, hold on. Hey, let me hold your thoughts, Congressman Higgins. Let me hold your thoughts. Let me take this break. I'll come back, let you wrap up that. I've got a couple more Q&As with you. Congressman Clay Higgins, my special guest, talking about what's going on in Washington, D.C. Billy Nunn gets after the 9:30 break. You don't want to miss the rest of the program after that as we ask Adley to quit lying. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Congressman Clay Higgins, my special guest. Clay, I wanted you to go ahead and wrap up. I know you were talking about the border and what was being done.
Right, and the part of the largest challenge we face right now is the left is insisting on addressing the DREAM or DACA thing. I want you to know that my office is writing legislation. It should drop next week. We're almost done with it. It's almost clear. In my opinion, if you're a dreamer, if you're DACA, you want to be a citizen here, you want legal residency, that path begins through jail. So we're writing legislation that mandates that if you're one of these dreamers that allegedly they're all, captains of the football teams and valedictorians, and they serve soup at homeless kitchens on weekends. But if that's you and you're out there, we're writing legislation that'll give you a path to legal residency, and it begins with turning yourself into the FBI for criminal prosecution for your current illegal status.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going to be interesting to see how it breaks down, and the president's been true to his word on almost everything. So I'm hoping he holds true to his word on this as well. I just think, we got all these people over here, and I understand that, but you better get rid of the ones that are bad, and we're not even doing that. And don't get me wrong, there are less people coming across the border now because of Donald Trump. All the talk of it is keeping people out. That's a good thing.
And Moon, let us recognize the reality that as soon as it becomes clear that we're going after these people, the ones with criminal records, they're going to deport themselves. They say there's 800,000 of them. They can either be picked up and lose all their belongings, incarcerated and deported, or they can load up their unregistered car and take their unlicensed self and load their stuff in it and head south. They can deport themselves. That'll happen on a large scale as soon as you begin enforcing the existing laws.
And let me ask you a question, Clay. Let me ask you a question, Congressman Higgins. What do you do with a state like Louisiana? What do you do with a state like California when they just told the federal government to go take a flying leap? It's amazing what the left does. If it's for them, they're all for the law. If it's against them, they're for breaking the law. What do you do with a state like California when they say we're a sanctuary city? Everybody coming in.
Them funding. Listen, this is not a totalitarian system. I certainly don't run things by myself up here. I have 235 Republican colleagues in the House and 51 in the Senate, and we have to all come together as a bicameral Congress to get a bill passed, get to a yes, to get to the president's desk for a signature. But if it was up to the most conservative of us, we would certainly cut federal funding to any sanctuary city.
Yeah, their sanctuary state is what they're saying.
We cut their funding.
And by the way, law enforcement for the most part in those states and California, they really don't want this. They kind of being forced to do that.
You're right. They're being forced.
All right. Congressman Clay Higgins, we'll do it again. I hope to hear from you soon, and God bless. Best of luck.
God bless you, Moon. And again, my condolences for losing your dad, brother.
Thank you, sir. God bless. We'll do it again. All right.